I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like. Hey, what's up, world? Welcome to another edition of I Mix What I Like right here at Black Power Media. Again, I'm Jared Ball. Very happy to be your host. Greetings. Wanted to start a little bit early because we have a lot coming up this morning, and I wanted to get in a little bit of silliness before our guests show up. To at least get it on the stream, and then I'm probably going to end up cutting this up and putting it out separately, or and I know I'm sure I'm going to divide up today's show into clips later on as well. So before everybody gets here to talk in the first hour about the new book edited by my man Dr. Todd Stephen Burrows, The Trials of Mumia, and before then, the second hour, when we have guests from the All African People's Revolutionary Party talking about Kwame Ture. I wanted to get to a couple of things. Because in the second hour, we're going to do a tribute to Kwame Ture, featuring several folks from the All African People's Revolutionary Party. So before we get to any of that, I woke up I should say late last night, early this morning, to a text from my man Davey D, who said he saw the recent the short video I did about the Supreme Court decision, and my general argument, and I'll put the link in the show notes here, but the general argument that on the many list of things wrong with the decision and involved in the process of the decision, the decision is its political use, which is for me, I think the primary concern, that it's going to be used to weaken an overall attempt to make these kinds of efforts, decisions, rulings, possibilities moot. And that is by developing actual an actual left charging, militant, organized political movement, social movement that is attempting to assume political power, which means we can't just keep being told that Democrats are the solution. The Democratic Party currently constituted is the solution. Okay, of course, it's connected to my argument around the after party. You know what? I did just get my voter registration card, and I thought I had honestly moved to independent, but apparently that's not the case. I'm still registered in the Green Party, which is cool. I'm fine. I'll stay there. But my argument about the after party idea would apply even in attempts within the Green Party, which my limited experience there has shown would demand the exact same effort as anybody looking to engage the Democrat or any other party. Because when we're talking about electoral politics, we're talking about something beyond any of our immediate communities. So there has to be a different way we engage, and that's where the after party concept comes in for me, my humble argument. But anyway, I wanted to show. So Davey D sends me this, and he says, I saw what you had to say about SCOTUS, and I think this clip supports your argument. And so I will show it. Let's start it over.
From Joe Biden's campaign yesterday saying that the Supreme Court...
Hold on, let me start that again with the sound on. I don't know, it's just, anyway.
So I received a text message from Joe Biden's campaign yesterday saying that the Supreme Court had overturned Roe versus Wade, and that it was my responsibility to then rush $15 to the Democratic National Party. And I thought that was absolutely outrageous, because my rights should not be a fundraising point for them, or a campaigning point. They have had multiple opportunities to codify Roe into law over the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they haven't done it. And if they're going to keep campaigning on this point, they should actually do something about it. So,
boom. So trajectory-wise, I fully agree, obviously. So you've had plenty of time in all forms of power, the Democratic Party. And you've had decades to protect this particular right and didn't do it. And I would argue that that same goes to everything else, whether it's poverty, policing, war, employment, imperial aggression via war and policies like GATT, NAFTA, CAFTA, so on and so forth. And on it goes. It just the Democratic machine just the party just keeps on going and gets credit for simply not being the lesser of evil, and yet allow for the lesser of evil to grow, emerge. In fact, they support the growth and emergence of a lesser evil, no more obviously than in the WikiLeaks reveal of some years ago about Hillary Clinton's campaign supporting the rise of Trump. So I mean, we need something else. All right, so that's one thing I wanted to get to in advance of the actual show starting in roughly 9 minutes. And again, we just have too many guests, too many serious topics to get to today that I didn't want to try to squeeze this in. So I just started a few minutes early. So you still have a couple minutes to tell everybody to join you this morning and get here for the real business of today. So definitely click like, share, subscribe, join, put this in your social media feeds and tell people we're about to have a seminal, original, and very launching discussion about Mumia Abu-Jamal and beyond. And then, of course, in the second hour about Kwame Ture. So anyway, so one more thing, somewhat similar to that, by the way, that I was just watching, in fact, this morning, that I think speaks to this issue. So I do watch this channel, not Bill Maher, but this channel, some more news. And they put out a clip the other day of all of their Bill Maher shake my head moments. And one of them was somewhat recently. I don't know the exact date on this, but it's somewhat recent. And I think it speaks to the issue I was just talking about, and then to my own personal pettiness. We'll have a petty moment here in just a second as well. So I just want to play a little bit of this, and the broader commentary is about how Bill Maher is sort of a faux liberal, presents himself as smart and critically thinking, but ends up ultimately, and has for his entire career, supporting the most conservative elements and incorporating the most conservative elements into the discussion. Somewhat similar. It's like the media equivalent to the point I was just making about electoral politics. But you'll see in just a moment why I just wanted to play this little clip from this, because I think it speaks to the broader problem, and I think specifically to a Black political problem as well.
Perhaps we need to start thinking as one generation of people, all trying to solve the same issues together, even if we feel like those issues don't concern us. What we super don't need is this.
And finally, new rule now that the latest climate conference is underway in Glasgow, Scotland, and Greta Thunberg has once again shown the world that she is the conscience of her generation. Someone must tell her, you may be the conscience of your generation, but you don't represent it. I really wish you did, Greta, but you don't. But I can show you who does. Greta, you have 13 million followers on Instagram, which is great. But Kylie Jenner has 279 million, which is more. But Kylie embodies and embraces a lifestyle that is pretty much the opposite of carbon neutral. And the younger generations fucking love it. When Kylie's lifestyle becomes uncool and unpopular, and you stop loving Bitcoin and stop thinking that stuffing your face is harmless, I'll take you seriously.
I agree with him on the Bitcoin.
Until then, shut the fuck up about how older generations ruin the planet.
Here it comes. There it is. There it is. There it is. Let's run that back. Let's run that back.
I'll take you seriously. Until then, shut the fuck up about how older generations ruin the planet.
Look at that right there. So I just thought that was hilarious. I couldn't let that go. The point that Bill Maher was trying to make, I've clipped it just because I wanted to have the Dyson part in there agreeing with him, is that Bill Maher was just he's trying to say that young people need to stop blaming boomers for the destruction of the planet and take them, I guess, get more serious politically. I don't know. And because if Kylie Jenner is more popular, that is a sign that Greta's generation isn't serious enough to support her own serious work. So that she, instead of talking to the boomers, should be talking to her own generation that supports Kylie Jenner's popularity, and she should be quiet on issues of the environment and blaming older folks for the conditions of the environment. My only point in this is that for all the whackness that Bill Maher represents, we have one of those who is constantly promoted and self-promoting as the legitimate spokespeople for Black radical politics, and just sitting there nodding in agreement. And my argument against Dyson forever has been that you take your own, he takes his own ultimately conservative positions wrapped in Black radical liberalism, or liberalism and Black radicalism, something like that. And then and does so that he can be invited to Bill Maher's show, so he can maintain that level of popularity and be invited. That's why he supported Hillary Clinton, so he could get invited to the White House after expressing how he was angry that Obama didn't invite him. That's the thing. That's what he does. And then he has that very stylistic, that is Dyson, stylized approach to Black audiences that who often, in large part, don't actually read his work. They just see him on these kinds of televised spaces with the alliteration, with that what I call the verbal whirlwind, and they're impressed anyway. So I just thought that was funny, and I think it's a parallel to the other point that I was trying to make about the Supreme Court and how I think an actual left response should look, or what it should include. All right, so that's it.